What's up, guys? Alright, so chapter 542 of Fairy Tail is finally out. I guess Monday's not the new day for Fairy Tail releases, or at least the English translation release. I don't know. What was it, Sunday last time? I'm not sure what's going on with that, but you know what? I don't really give a shit as long as we get the chapters and I can talk about them. I don't really give a fuck when they come out as long as we get them. And you know what? We finally got this one, so let's just talk about it. Alright, so before we even talk about the actual review for this chapter, I just want to point out that my favorite part of this chapter, my favorite moment in this chapter, is when all the Dragon Slayers get back up after getting their asses kicked. Because that's actually how the chapter starts off. The chapter starts off with the Dragon Slayers getting trashed, like just thrown around left and right. We don't see Wendy get hit necessarily, but we see her fall down in pain. Everyone else, we actually get like a full glimpse of them getting smacked around by Acnologia. Even Laxus gets tossed around by Acnologia like it was nothing. But I do gotta give credit to Laxus though. I gotta give credit to Laxus. He actually managed to land a hit on Acnologia in this chapter, unlike everyone else. Everyone else just kind of just got tossed around left and right. But yeah, after that, because you know it goes back and forth between the Dragon Slayers and the real world, where everyone's trying to get Acnologia or his like dragon body to a boat so they can, incapacitate him long enough to use Fairy Spear, Fairy Spear on him, whatever. Anyway, we go back and forth between it. We go back and forth between them. Look at me. I just said I wasn't going to talk about the review yet, but I'm already talking about the entire chapter. Anyway, my favorite part of this chapter was when Acnologia is just sitting there talking to them. They're all getting back up, giving their whole power friendship speech, saying, "Oh, we have friends waiting for us back home. We can't die here." Then after everyone talks about how they had their friends waiting for them and how they're not going to die because they promised to protect them and whatnot. Now it's just like, all right, come on, Acnologia, let's do this. Come on, final fight right now. There's no more playing. Let's do this. Acnologia just looks at them and he laughs. He starts cracking up like it's the funniest thing he's ever heard because he's like, "I'm sorry, you guys are getting serious now. You guys think this is like I've just been playing around with you guys this entire time. I'm not even close to being serious. We haven't even started the fight yet. But you know what? If you want it, bring it on. I'm done playing. Then I'm going to start getting serious now." So this chapter, just that scene alone, has me basically saying, all right, if he wasn't even serious yet, if he wasn't even giving like a percentage of his full attention to this fight, then there's no hope for them. They're pulling out all the stops. There's no hope for them whatsoever. He says in this chapter that no magic will work on him. None. So I still have no slither of an idea what could go on. Ignore the dog in the background. I don't know if the camera can actually see it, but ignore the dog in the background walking around. Anyway, but yeah, if no magic is going to work on them, everyone's actually really pulling out all their stops. Well, like I said in my last review, we still haven't seen Natsu, Gajeel, and Sting use their actual like activated modes. We haven't seen anyone go into Dragon Force yet. So they aren't really pulling out all their stops yet, but even still, all those modes rely on magic, and if no magic works on Acnologia, there's not really anything they can do. I don't see any way they're going to win this. Now, that being said, I do see I actually do kind of. I'm going to contradict what I just said. I do kind of see some slither of hope for them. All right, so he says that no magic will work on him, which means the only. And they say later on in the chapter, like when we're in the real world and everyone's dealing with Agnolia's physical body, they say that all right, magic won't work on him, so we have to rely on physical attacks. That's the only way that we can possibly damage him, which makes sense. If he can tank any magic, the only thing he has left is actual physical attacks. None of them are strong enough to fight him, but whatever. Anyway, it had me thinking in this chapter after I reread it after that part. Laxus actually manages to sneak up behind Acnologia. Now, I don't know if this was Acnologia just like letting Laxus get behind him, if he was just letting his guard down because he sees everyone as so much not a threat that he has no concern whatsoever if they actually manage to land a hit on him. But Laxus does manage to sneak behind Acnologia, and he does land a clean hit on Acnologia. Now, because it's a magic attack, it does nothing to him. But if it was just a physical attack, it might actually done some damage to him. Which Laxus is probably the strongest physically character in that entire group, so he probably could do some pretty significant. He could probably do some pretty good damage against Acnologia, especially if Wendy actually has some kind of magic that not only enhances magic of her friends, but their physical strength too. If she were to do that, enhance their strength and speed, they might have a slither of a chance of defeating Acnologia. Then again, that's probably where Hero's going to go anyway. If his whole magic thing doesn't work, they're probably going to have to rely on physical attacks. Be kind of a more of a boring fight because it's Fairy Tail. Magic's the whole point of it. Seeing the badass magic that they can use to defeat their opponents. That's what at least drew me into the series. But if it's the only way they can win, go for it. That's really the only way I can see them winning. Anyway, enough with the Dragon Slayers. That's pretty much all we see from them in this chapter. Anyway, enough with the Dragon Slayers. That's pretty much all we see from them in this chapter. When we check back in with the real world, we see Lucy and Lucy, Levy, Freed, Happy, Charlie's there too. I didn't notice her last chapter, and Makarov also looking for the book. Acnologia actually manages to attack Fairy Tail Guild. Luckily, they were unharmed, but all the books fell on them, which was actually a good thing because it gave Lucy the chance to actually find the book they were looking for that teaches the spell of Fairy Spear, which he immediately gives to fucking Levy. He's like, "Hey, Levy, all right, you obviously haven't done anything this entire war arc besides cry and kick fucking Jalil for some reason." Okay, so enough with the Dragon Slayers because that's literally all we see from them in this chapter. What I just said, like I said. Okay, so enough with the Dragon Slayers because that's pretty much all we see from them this entire chapter. When we check back in with the real world, because we're going back and forth, like it's kind of cool how Hero like mirrors this issue or this chapter of the fairy tale, because we have like full pages where we go back and forth where like the first few panels of the page are devoted to what's going on in the whole time lapse world where the Dragon Slayers are fighting Acnologia, and then the rest of the page we see the corresponding like characters that are related to those certain characters that we saw in the first few panels, like the Dragon Slayers we saw in the first few panels, trying to like lead Acnologia to like a dock, because that's their plan. That's what. Okay, so enough with the Dragon Slayers. That's pretty much all we see from in this chapter. We check back in with Real World, and we see Lucy, Happy. I didn't know it was Charlie the last chapter, but Charlie's there too. Levy and Makarov. Oh, and Freed, all still looking for the what's it called? I don't actually know what the book's called, but the book that has that will teach you how to use Fairy Spear. They end up getting attacked by Agnologia, or at least the guild does. They don't end up getting hurt, but all the books end up falling on top of them. And while they're buried under the books, Lucy manages to find the book that they need in order to teach them the spell, which he immediately gives to Levy because Levy has done absolutely nothing this entire war arc. So I guess this is Hero giving her something to do, which also makes sense. If anyone's going to be able to, quickly learn the magic, it's either her or Lucy. And Lucy, don't know why Hero didn't give it to Lucy. This actually would be her time to shine. I guess with the whole Book of End thing that she did a few chapters ago, Hero's like, all right, enough with her, enough with her. She even came up with this fucking plan. Let's let someone else have some spotlight for a second. I guess that's what his plan is. I don't know. But anyway, she gives it to Levy. They start flying over to the docks because that's what we find out in this chapter. That's their plan. Actually, it was actually talked about in the last chapter, but I didn't see it in my review. But whatever. Their plan is to lead Agnologia to docks to get him on top of a ship in order to, basically incapacitate him long enough to activate Fairy Spear on top of him to trap him inside of it. Now, this is where Minerva's people came in. The last chapter I thought Minerva's people were just there to distract him because of the rough translation I got. We find out in this chapter that their whole goal is basically to lead him to the docks where they have this like whole like sea or like this whole dock full of ships waiting for Agnologia to land on one of them. Like they picked out the biggest ship, but I'm pretty sure they're like, all right, this is a ship that we want him to land on because it's the biggest one and most likely be able to hold his body. But we'll take him on any ship we can. So yeah, they're trying to lead him there. It's actually kind of cool how Hero mirrors the pages in this chapter, because while they're leading him to the dock, we have pages where we're in the Dragon Slayer like fight against Agnologia, and we see each character like talking about how they're fighting to protect their friends, and in each Dragon Slayer we see fighting to protect their friends, we see their corresponding friends literally on the same page, but a few like literally the panels following after their little speech, which was kind of cool. It's like Hero mirroring what's going on in the Dragon Slayer fight with what's going on in the real world. It's just a clever way of storytelling. But yeah, they lead him all the way there, and then Axel gets like, oh, I see what's going on, and he destroys all the ships. Like he just said, he is literally almost there. Minerva and I I forget what her name is. I can't remember her fucking name. Sorno's little sister, the one who has the other two like gold keys that Lucy doesn't have. They lead them all the way over to the dock, and they're like, all right, fucking Urza, Mary Jane, get fucking ready. You're literally our two most powerful characters. We're out of magic. It's up to you guys to fucking knock him onto the ship. So they're getting ready to knock him up, and he just like, oh, fuck that, and uses his magic to destroy every ship in the dock. And they're just sitting there left speechless. They're like, oh, okay, well there goes our one plan to stop him for even a remotely 1 second. So we're fucked now. And that's literally where the chapter ends with all of them like, fuck. It was actually kind of cool how they rendered it or how they talked about what Agnologia did in the chapter. Because his dragon body is mindless. It's like, it doesn't have a mind. It's just a mindless rampaging. It's basically like the Hulk. It's like when the Hulk goes like full rage mode and just goes on a full rampage in Marvel Comics. This is basically what Agnologia is doing right now. But his body still runs on instinct. That's why the chapter is called Instinct. Because he instinctively follows the most powerful magic he can find. Like the biggest source of magic he can find, he follows that. And that's why he's attacking Minerva and her crew, because there's just like a whole like guild of people with magic just sitting there right in front of him. So they split up. They all lead him towards the ship, like split up to I think 2v2, leading him away from like Magnolia to the docks. And then when he gets there, his instincts kick in and says, "Oh, that's my one weakness: vehicles. I can't get on that." So he instinctively destroys them, which was actually pretty cool. It was actually pretty cool to see a hero say, he's a mindless beast, but he still has his battle instincts. He still, he still knows what the fuck he's doing. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly where they're gonna go from here. I mean, Lucy and them are on the way to the docks to trap him. We even see Evergreen and Elfman say, "Hey, we had to hold hands in order to activate Fairy Spear." So everyone, while Urza and everyone else is, while Urza and Mary Jane are ready to knock Agnologia onto the ship, we need to prepare by all holding hands in a circle. We see basically everything else falling into play for this trap to begin, except for their main part of the trap gets destroyed. So I'm not exactly sure where they're going to go from here. It's literally, each chapter seems to be more hopeless for the good guys as it goes on, which means it's going to be even sweeter when they actually do pull out this W. But yeah, that's pretty much all that happened in the chapter. Now I'm pretty sure, like I already said earlier in the video, that the Dragon Slayers are probably going to figure out, okay, if magic doesn't work on him, we have to rely on physical attacks. They're probably going to find a way to buff up their physical strength, or I don't know, it's fairy tale, so maybe some kind of magic. Maybe I'm going to call it now. There's some like, either there's going to be some residual of the like dragon seed and the demon seed decide not to, that gives them an upper hand to defeat Agnologia, or they're going to realize physical attacks are the only way to do it, so they're going to find a way to like strengthen their bodies enough to actually do damage to him or weaken him so that their physical attacks can hurt him. Something like that. I'm not exactly sure what's going to go down with the real world Agnologia yet. Like I said, Lucy and them are on their way with Fairy Spear to trap him. But if their only way to incapacitate him long enough to trap him has been destroyed, I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do besides maybe a whole bunch of people sacrificing themselves in order to distract him long enough for that. I don't know. Only 4 chapters left, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's it for the review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, drop me a like. Subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Comment down below for your thoughts and theories. And catch you guys later. Peace.